Are you constantly being tripped up by emotional triggers or finding that you just can't get what you want out of relationships? You can't stay in them, can't make them work because you are continually becoming emotionally upset? Well, what I want to help you with today is to look at 3 signs for emotional maturity so that you can feel more confident in your relationships and be able to control those emotions that are running your life. Let me welcome you here today. My name is Tawnya Kordenbrock. I am a licensed professional clinical counselor and the person behind arenewedlife.com, where I have an online program where I help women rewire their brains to be able to break free from fear, anger, and shame so they can love themselves and feel loved by others and have a deeper relationship with God. And I hope you will stay tuned till the end of this, because I want to describe for you a free resource that I have for you to help you overcome some of the emotions that you are struggling with today. Before we get started discussing what it looks like to be emotionally mature, let me make it clear that emotions themselves are not bad. It is not wrong to feel emotional and to experience emotions. Emotions are tools. They're created by God to help you to know if things are right in relationships and if you are receiving what it is that you need for your wholeness. For instance, when you are feeling angry, it can mean that there has been an injustice within the relationship. When you are feeling fearful, it can mean that there is danger, or at least there's perceived danger of physical harm or even emotional harm to the relationship. If you're feeling lonely, that can signal to you that you need some more connection with people. So these emotions alert you that something's going on, that you need something more. And they can help to move you in a direction to be able to take care of that. So emotions in themselves are not bad. Even God has emotions. The Bible is full of scripture verses that talk about how he feels love, how he feels compassion, he feels sadness, he feels joy, he feels anger, he feels the injustice that goes on in the world. So emotions themselves are not bad, and just because you feel them doesn't mean that something is wrong with you or that you need to get rid of them. One of the first signs of emotional maturity, though, is that your emotions don't control you. Now, they're good workers. They do good tasks for you and alerting you that something is wrong, but they make horrible bosses. Very much like a toddler. Toddlers are cute and they're lovable. They're great. And we want to have them. We want to have them around and love on them. But you know what? Toddlers make horrible bosses of a household, don't they? If you leave them on their own to their own whims, they cause a lot of destruction. And the same thing happens with our emotions, that when they are left on their own to go with their own whims and especially to be taken to their fullest extent of feeling them, then they will cause destruction. They will cause destruction in your relationships, with your work, and even with your health and your emotional state. With the toddler who is out of control, what you would do sometimes is you would just take the little guy and you would put him in a chair for a little bit of a timeout and teach them how to calm themselves down while you kind of take control of the environment, look what needs to be done, be able to move forward to accomplish things. And so the same thing happens with, we want to be able to do something similar with our emotions, to be able to calm them down, to bring them to a level where we can move forward, to be productive in life, and also to be able to get what it is that we need in the situations we are in and in the relationships that we're in. The second sign of emotional maturity is that you don't ignore your emotions. And you might be surprised to learn this, because there's a misconception of people who are what you might call emotionally strong. There's a misperception that that means that you don't have emotions, or that you just totally push them down, or just put them on a shelf somewhere and ignore them and have this stony look on your face like nothing phases you. Well, things are going to phase you, because you are a living human being, and things should phase you. You are going to become anxious at times. You're going to become fearful. You will be hurt. You will be lonely. You will be sad. You will grieve. But you even though you don't want these emotions to overtake you and control you, you also don't want to push them down, ignore them, and act like they're not there. Because actually what happens when you do that is they become stronger. They want to be heard. They need you. Your emotions need to be heard, valued, and honored. And if you don't do that, then they will scream at you. Just like, if we go back to that analogy of that toddler who is being a bit out of control. And if you may think, well, if I just ignore them, then they will go away, they will calm down, they'll be quiet, they'll quit their tantrum. But they don't. They scream even louder because they are trying to get your attention. So the solution isn't to ignore them and push them down, but instead it is to pay attention to them and to get them under control, and to teach yourself how to decrease the intensity of the emotions. A third sign of emotional maturity is that you can stay present in relationships even when things aren't going so well. Now, the normal tendency, when you're upset and your emotions have control of you, is that when you're upset, you're hurt, you want to you'll do one of two things. You might look for the vulnerability, the weakness in the other person, and you will go after that weakness and you will attack them. Or you may yourself feel too vulnerable, and then you will withdraw and you'll hide away. What this keeps from happening is it keeps you from being able to have deep relationships with people, and to feel that people can really be there for you. And when you're emotionally mature, then instead what you can do is you can stay present. It doesn't mean it's going to feel comfortable, but you can stay present and decrease the intensity of your emotions enough to slow them down, to be able to recognize, okay, this person, even though they've hurt me right now, or even though I'm not sure what it is they're thinking of me or where this relationship's going to go, you've slowed those emotions down enough that you can still see that, okay, this person is my friend, or this person does genuinely care for me. And then you can stay present to be able to hear them out, and to be able to hear of their own hurt, and then to be able to tell them about your hurt, or to be able to clear up any misconceptions that there are in the whole discussion and the whole situation. Now, just because you are frequently encountering emotional triggers and your emotions are rather out of control and they're controlling you, doesn't mean that you can't become emotionally mature. However, it will be important for you to realize what the goal is, what it looks like, because if you don't have a clear picture of what it looks like, then you won't know where it is exactly that you are going. So the first thing you need to know is that your emotions themselves are not your enemy. And that doesn't mean that you just get rid of them or that you don't experience any emotions. That is never going to happen. But instead, what you will need to do is learn how to control them, learn how to manage them, decrease the intensity of those emotions, to be able to get yourself into this place where you can stay present in relationships and in situations so that you can move through your emotions to be able to do the things you need to be able to do, to be able to see more clearly what all is going on, to be able to hear others and what they are experiencing in the relationship, and to be able to speak up about how you are feeling in the relationship, and just to be able to stay present in that. Otherwise, you are going to not be productive when you need to be productive, not be able to get things done that you need to get done. Also in relationships, when you are hurt or you're feeling fearful, you're not going to be able to deepen that relationship and to truly feel that the person does care for you. Because when you're in that place, when you can maintain relationships, you can do so much more with your life. You feel more secure to be able to venture out and to take risks and to do the things that hold you back now. Because you then know that people have your back. You know you have that secure attachment to them, that cord that, you know, you can find your way back if you feel like you get lost in the world. In my next teaching, I am going to talk about how you yourself can obtain emotional maturity. So I hope that you will hang around for that. And in the meantime, be sure to obtain this free resource that I mentioned earlier. This is a guide for overcoming fear and anxiety, and it will really help you to understand the emotions that you are experiencing and get you started on that pathway to being able to train yourself to manage your emotions instead of having them control you. Well, let me know if any of these 3 points were a surprise for you, if it's something you already knew, or if you have any questions about what that would look like or how you would obtain it. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye now.